Salve, salve. Acordei aqui pra ver essa brincadeira, né? E o que está acontecendo no draft aqui, mano? Tá tudo diferente, né? Espera aí que tá meio torto aqui pelo negócio.
But probably not very good into mid Vagar. As Ari, a mainstay here for Faker, especially last year.
Nossa, mano, o draft mudou, olha isso, velho.
Ari, Zinzao, obviously very
Os caras deram B1 de
2v2, really strong, can set up for one another very well.
Os caras deram B1 de
I do
5.
think that the Ari might struggle when we get to the later stage of the game. I think that, again,
jogando B2, B3, Sarracan. Ali já devolveram o Tristana Jinx Trash. Vixe, virou bagunça, mano.
Particularly if they can
Virou
snowball,
bagunça.
you have a great shot at pressuring T1. But when I look at the amount of late game power just with that Jinx and the amount of zone control there is, like Zinzao, right, is able to peel very aggressively. Fresh is self-explanatory, and then combine it with the cannon, I do think that if T1 is allowed to actually get to the later stage of the game, you'll be in trouble. The biggest thing here for me is that T1 is making some really strong statements about their current meta read, because both Cannon and Jinx were picked up over a lot of the other conventional picks that we know are strong or have been highly prioritized, and we'll see whether it pays off. I'm happy to see Zeus play Cannon.
O primeiro pick da T1 foi Kennen e Jinx, mano.
It's one of his most iconic picks. I don't know if D+
Kennen e Jinx, tipo,
yeah, I mean, they do get their hands on the Cassante, which I think that nowadays is actually proving to be a really high-tier pick again. Even though it got nerfed, and then teams were like, oh, that got nerfed, that's not good anymore. Teams slowly but surely have returned to this pick that has some insane teamfight potential, and of course is very, very tanky. So, kind of like the choice here for Kana as well. We'll see how it works into the cannon though, and the spacing of Zeus, which is something that we always have to mention with this player. So it looks like we're ready, guys, to hop onto the rim for game number 1. Let's do it. DK versus T1.
Não sei agora. É que o Kennen também não tem tanto range assim no auto-ataque, né? Aí dá pro... se pá que dá pro cara punir, né? Mas não assim.
Pause.
Começou com pause já, cara.
Actually, in Challengers, we recently had a rune issue.
Oh no.
Yeah, on Tuesday. So, based on the timing of this pause, I feel like it could be the case. Although, looking at the runes, everything seems pretty normal.
Yeah, I'm not.
It is a mouse sensitivity
issue. Já teve pause já direto por causa da runa.
Hopefully will be fixed soon. So looking at the runes, actually we did get to take a look. I was really curious about what runes the cannon was going to go for. We have seen a variety of different builds for the cannon. 80 cannon has slowly been creeping up. We've seen Conqueror cannon going for a more long-term, like especially into tanks like Cassante. Kind of 1v1 build with Riftmaker, but with Ari looking like Zeus is just going to go for the good old rocket belt into full AP, try and blow your opponents up cannon. One thing that I am somewhat worried about for the T1 composition, if we get towards the later stages of the game, is that Deft is going to have a ton of agency, right? There is a large amount of short-range blow potential, but if Deft can space well in those fights and make the most of his Feather Storms and Blade Callers, I do think that without Gumayushi being fully online, T1 can definitely run into some issues if they overextend. Their single target pick, though, is really, really obnoxious between Charm, Hook, Zinzao, and even the CC that Zeus provides. Can follow up with Chompers as well. There is so many ways for T1 to take a single target and immediately blow them up. And if you take control of the game early on, which T1 generally have been able to do, it makes the game very hard to play out for D+, who have Kana, who's pretty good at you know, face-checking brushes and tanking some CC, but just a Cassante alone isn't going to do it.
Very curious about the bottom lane. Might just end up being, you know, a farm fest.
Could be, yeah.
Which, I mean, it's Zyrakan into Jinx, so almost definitely the case. As slowly but surely, our bottom lane meta once again returns to just a bit of a farm fest. It's been very active in the beginning of spring here. For like the first 7 or 8 weeks. But I feel like now with Jinx buffs, we'll probably return to a bit more of normalcy at the LCK.
It also ties into this game. We had 480 carry bans, right? And I wonder whether we're going to see that level of priority. And if we only get these kind of more handshake type bot lanes, if we do keep seeing those bans, or if those bans are eventually going to kind of peter out. Team also really matters in that regard, because we already know how incredibly strong both of these two teams are with Lucianami, for example. A pick that in many other parts of the LCK, or a combo rather, that really has been dropping in priority due to the need to really try and be proactive, and some teams struggling with that a little bit more.
Top lane we really need to take a look at, as Zeus is 6-0 on Kennen.
Nunca perdeu de Kennen. Caralho, tá bom, né? Calma.
Kennen has been picked, I believe, a couple of times already here at the LCK. And
eu vou catar.
It's going to be interesting to see how it does do in the top side. Also, Xinjiao making his way for the first time this season, but not the first time, obviously, for Owner, as he is 15-3 on the pick.
Yeah, Xin is a pick that we really haven't seen for quite a while in the meta. It was all the rage last year, but there were continuous set of nerfs, as we will spot Canyon here. Faker with some very early control being set up. And I'm kind of wondering about this Cassante pick, because we can already see that Zeus, as expected this early on, did go for Airy. Although not Scorch, went for Gathering Storm, but just with Airy and Cole this early on, he's still a big threat to Kana. And I think the Cassante might be more of a pick to try and neutralize the pressure and maybe have a way of removing Zeus from late game situations. The Cassante
já tem a ward lá.
I do think
Acho
provide
mais
a high
difícil tomar gank,
safety for depth in the later stage of the game, and maybe that's the main reason why D+ went for it, because the lane thus far.
Nossa, o cara tá correndo a ward, ó. Ih, acabou a ward. Nossa, ele pôs uma ward boa. Mas não sei se vai disputar também. Mas mesmo assim, não tem como, velho. Tá muito, o gank tá muito bom pra... Entendeu? Tomar.
Speaking of which, Canyon looks like he is going to go for a back.
Oh, there we go.
Oh boy, here comes T1 once again. Setting up for a 4-man
Destacou.
potentially looking for the hook first. He's going to land it straight
Cara, que hook, mano. Toma, né? Tchau. Pog pro Kevin, já acabou. Nossa, mano. Nossa, o Showmaker deu TP.
We also got the teleport from Showmaker, right?
Tá morto já.
That didn't end up working out. And now he still has to back, then has to walk back to mid. Great use of prioritization from Faker. And the top side, nothing happened, right? Zeus is fine. Was a Cannon who was full health against the Cassante with like 20-30%, so I think Canyon saw that and was like, there's no way I'm gonna get anything done here. So the top side gank doesn't work out. Faker uses his window, and then you can see there kind of the setup from Owner as well. Starts charging up, but this might not have happened the way it did if not for that hook. Ice cold. Right, and as soon as that hits with the flash charm and the CC available from Xin, it's very, very straightforward, very easy, and very nice early set play here from T1.
I think the setup, you know, a little bit confusing for Def. There's like so many different ways to get hit by stuff, right? You've got Charm, you've got Xinjiao just straight up charging onto you, you have a hook, but to be honest, he's gotta flash that hook. The second like Karius starts charging up, he's gotta be ready, and he's gotta say, okay, I'm getting out of here. Now, there is a chance that he, you know, if we're giving him the benefit of the doubt, maybe he just tried to save it because he's like, okay, we're gonna die anyway, like. Even if I flash, I'll probably just get chased down the lane, something like that. So if we are giving him the benefit of the doubt, perhaps you could look for that angle. But I think if he flashes the hook, especially based on the positioning at T1, he probably lives in that case.
Esqueci o nome disso em inglês, mano.
Now he'll have flash at least.
Yeah, at the very least he.
Em português também, se você quer hextech alguma coisa. Nossa, ele saiu da. Cara, ele saiu da cave certinho,
that is
mano.
a Veigar with a tear and Merc treads. It's not gonna be doing any damage.
Se pega.
Why does it ignite? Courtesy of Spellbound. So that helps a little bit, but not a lot. Owner is a little bit low. Showmaker's just farming up owner.
Here we go again.
Ué, os caras não acertam nada, meu Deus.
As over the wall comes Faker, looking to go onto Canyon here, it looks like. As flash out
Tá
of Canyon, look at
cheio.
Showmaker. He's
Cara,
gonna
Showmaker
get the kill
matou.
onto owner, but the roam from the bottom
Livre do
lane
Faker,
comes
meu
in.
Deus.
That will be a kill, but Faker looking to go down here. The
Ué.
damage will
Ah, tá
turn
bom.
in as Canyon
Nossa, que
is
bagunça.
given over to Guma now.
2
As
por
the
2?
trade
Tá
from
bom.
the bottom lane is happening here in mid. And the chase will continue. Sad point to miss. As Kellen's
Nossa,
going
que
to hug the wall here
golaço.
and be able to
Esse
get
W foi
away.
golaço, hein?
Who
Eu quero
you
tirar
trade a
lanterna,
little bit
velho.
back there,
Ou ele já
as
usou e
the
tava
boss,
dormindo,
you're
né?
not gonna
Ficou
be
meio
happy
dormindo.
with that.
Pra mim, ele não
because
usou
all
lanterna,
the
velho.
goes into the Jinx.
Possível,
We see the
ele tá
value
muito louco.
of the ghost come through, and look again, Carrier here early on this roam. If they take
Ah,
down a little
tá,
bit
ele deu
faster,
lanterna pra
might be an
Jinx,
angle
mano.
here, and the reason
Faltou
why
lanterna
T1
agora
feels
aí, ó.
confident is because
Faltou.
Guma and Carrier have the prio. So
Faltou
Owner,
pro shield
unfortunately,
ali, ó,
oversteps.
no Honor.
Could
Se desse shield
maybe
no
got out
Honor,
there
deu.
with usage of his flash.
Se desse shield no
Because they
Faker aí
know,
agora. Mas aí
that they
também,
are
se
a
não
member up, T1 very happy to go
tivesse dado a
aggressively
lanterna
here.
antes pro Gumayushi
Gumayushi
também,
excited, so nothing to do for Death try and
eles não
disengage.
teriam cobrado tão
Already
fácil
a
também as
bounty on the
kills.
Jinx, and
Ah, que
if
eu acho que
the
ele podia
Jinx
ter
falls
ligado o
really far
Ghost
behind,
antes, eu não sei se
then D+
ligou,
has
né?
so
Tava
many more
moscando também.
avenues because
Se ele
it makes it
ligou o
really
Ghost
hard
lá
for
atrás,
T1,
aí beleza.
particularly if Death can get some items to get things done.
Mas
But
tá
instead,
bom, mano, tá bom.
Guma
Saiu
already has 2
bom
kills.
ainda, mas acho que
Spot lane
talvez
is
existe
looking
um
rough.
que dava
The
pra ser
Mountain
melhor,
Drake
entendeu?
really
É
big
o que
as
eu
well.
quero dizer.
That's going to be pretty nice as a
Nossa, que
rocket
opa, mas
spots
vazou.
Canyon. I don't
Vazou
believe
ele sim.
that was the
Nice, tá bom.
initial
Cara,
idea
cagou.
behind it, as he was just trying to hit Death. But
Você cagou,
it's
mano.
going to keep
Você
him
cagou,
safe. Guma
caralho.
can just hug the turret. Currently doesn't have any summoners. And yeah, this is a fantastic start here to the side of
Nossa,
T1. They're already up 1,000 gold. They got that first streak. Top lane as well. Zeus is farming it out. He's going to have his call for
Agora
this
que eu
very
vi, ele tá
early
usando a
on.
skin do Lee Sin
And will
roubada,
be
mano.
a massive
Acho que eu nunca
threat.
vi ele usar a skin do Lee Sin
We
roubada.
do have some team fights.
Por isso que eu
Until
vi, ele tá
the
usando outras.
top lane.
Rapaz,
Top lane is the
bem
way it is nowadays, Chronicler.
Yeah. It's just top lane. Zeus doing great though. She's been left alone here, been able to bully Kana, getting close to the call as well. Cash out for that is going to be big. Gonna give T1 an even larger gold lead than they
Nossa,
already
meu
have. As
Deus.
even
Eu
our
perdi duas
best top laner
catapas
sometimes
já.
misses a cannon.
Que
Yeah.
forte.
It happens to the best of
Que
us.
isso,
When
tá
you miss
parecendo
Cannon
jogo.
and solo queue, just say, well, Zeus missed it that one time, so
So yeah,
I'm just as good as him.
that's
I mean, you can say it to yourself if you're alone and nobody hears you.
yeah,
it's
I mean,
okay in that.
it's motivational.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, try and build yourself up. I like that.
Here comes Canyon, level 6, red buff, no flash. But could look for the angle anyway. So there's a ward here,
Nossa,
knock up
pegou.
onto the cannon. And it doesn't look like they really want to get in there, so... Canyon, you know, did help out in the fight
Canyon
in mid
parece
lane,
que tá,
but
tipo,
other
ele
than
tá
that,
aparecendo nos
he's
lugares,
kinda just
parece que tá
been
dando
farming it out
bom,
as
mas
recent.
não, sei lá, ele não vai, não tá dando bom. Tipo, tá dando
Not
bom,
been too many
dando
angles here.
bom, eu
The-
digo,
the
parece
Veigar
bom, né? Parece bom, mas ao
hasn't
mesmo
really
tempo parece
made
meio
an
ruim, né?
impact on the map, which is to be
Sei
expected.
lá, velho.
But the
Esquisito.
downside is that again here, look, Faker roaming towards the bottom
Tá
half,
parecendo
right? So
mais ou
the
menos.
Plus need
A
to
morte
really
das costas.
respect, and even with respect, I don't
É,
know. We do
mais ou
see a lot of
menos.
pressure come down
Ainda
here
mais que
with
encostou
Canyon in
aqui, ó.
the area. They will still be safe,
Ah,
but
vocês não vão nem, tô nem vendo
Kana's
direito,
gonna
tá
be
tudo
forced to
escuro
back
aqui, a
here,
morte
which
das
might mean
costas.
Zeus is able to pick up the plane. This kind of problem is
Nossa, ele vai
T1
fazer é que eu,
is
olha,
continuously
olha o
pressuring,
Phoenix,
which
meu
makes it
Deus.
really hard for the
Olha
Plus
que
to either
sacanagem.
retake control with vision
A gente já tem
and try and look for a
4,2k.
play to somewhat equalize.
Ela tem o
Just
cara aqui
falling
na
further
base
and
com a
further
bota,
behind
precisa
as
vender,
more
mas
plays go
mesmo
over.
assim não é
Look at
worth
that.
it.
That's a 1k gold lead in the
Yeah.
top lane where nothing has happened. And that was with a counter pick.
Não, não tem não ainda.
Like Kana
It's
counter
true,
picked.
yeah.
Tô
I mean,
loucão.
as you mentioned before, it's not going to be a counter for the lane.
No,
So,
of course.
Ainda falta
this
quantos? Nem
is pretty
sei.
much expected,
Falta
although
300,
1,000 gold is a lot
600,
this early on. The call certainly
1.200,
helping
600, falta?
in that one.
Não,
A nice pick up
mais.
here for
Ah,
Cannon.
3.400, não é? Ah,
As outside of that one fight,
o
haven't
Kraken,
had too
os
much
caras,
action since then,
3.400.
just kind of farming it out. We do
Já
have
quero
Cloud Drake on the
3.200,
way
tô loucão.
next. And pretty much any strong soul is going to be
Acho que
money
agora...
for the
É,
side
não,
of
agora
T1
fechou
with
ainda.
two
Cara,
Drakes potentially under their belts.
They're going to be really big here.
Esse
If
map
it
tá
is
bem maior,
a
mano.
weaker soul,
Tem...
then we'll see how T1
Precisa de
deals
gold
with
na
that. Might
frente.
still
Mais ainda,
prioritize
que a
it
Dora
just to
está lá
get to
ainda. E
Elder,
tem uns
as
1.200 de
no
gold na
spikes
frente.
hit yet here for Guma, even with the extra gold that
Não
he
tinha
was able
visto
to
lá
get.
no
He'll be
bacana.
up Berserker Greaves.
Ó, o
You know
Hulk,
what's interesting? I feel like
Ah,
actually
comprado.
Chemtech Soul in this case is not that bad. Like, it's not as good as some of the other ones, right? But I don't know, like the extra tenacity is going to be great against a lot of the picks on the side of DK, and even for DK on the side of T1. And I can see a lot of fights where people are getting low and having some extra damage in that case.
Yeah, can help a lot. And we try to make sure everything is appreciated.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to have this little moment for Chemtech.
Nunca mais vai morrer.
He never gets to have
Esse
his
showmaker aí. Vacilão.
No,
Essas
no,
builds aí de,
and we have a champion for Cloud Soul, obviously, so maybe you can be that.
Tô bagunça.
No, you know,
Proibido fazer dano de Veigar. Cadê o Lourdes?
I'm gonna go overboard.
Não tá certo fazer Lourdes, mano. O boneco está KP, velho. Tipo, vocês não precisam de, entendeu? Centro do Shadow Flame, coisa bonita. Só precisa de um White Staff. De um Rabadon, mano. E, mano, o resto, velho. O resto é nada, defesa, vida, sei lá. E aí você tem que fazer de tudo pra sobreviver o World também, né? Porque o boneco é muito quebrado, Leite. Você põe uma cage e todo mundo flasha, mano.
Don't even need to actually go for play, right? Just threatening by itself is enough to maybe get them some control. I think Showmaker will finish his Rod of Ages here. That is a big spike.
Nossa, mas tá tarde,
Still
hein?
going to be a fair amount of time
12h50, mano, ele fechou a ROA.
Veigar is actually going to be able to substantially
Nossa, acho que ele vai conseguir. É, ele roubou, eu acho. Vai conseguir roubar. Falou! Deu tempo de roubar. Falou! Tchau, tchau! Nossa, mas ele já fechou o Gordinker, mano. Puta, ele tá um time atrás. Nossa, ele precisa ir base, só que se ele for base agora vai dar ruim. Ele tem o dinheiro pra fechar, tá ligado? Ele tem o dinheiro pra fechar o Gordinker, mas se ele der base agora, acabou. Caralho, que flash bom. Daft volta. Faker voltou. Nossa, Prince, meu Deus. Cara, esse Prince aí foi God. Acho que nem... É, não sei, acho que não matava não. Faker não matava, mesmo se o cara não tivesse dado Prince, eu acho. É, não mata, não mata. Ah, mano, essa Gordrinker fez muita diferença. Puta que pariu. Faltou tanto essa Gordrinker aí. O Gumayushi não apareceu também na fight. Faltou muita coisa, mano. Faltou muita coisa. Opa, vai ter luta agora, que agora deu 14,5, TP tá up, né? Os dois top. Ué, falou, né? Ué, dá pra ir não? Acho que dá pra ir, Police não tem bota de MR, mano. Acho que dá pra ir. Ah, falou então, né? Pegou e tchau. Falou. Esquisito, né? Tá bom.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go in too deep on that one, but
ah lá, ó, vamos ver quanto que o Gordinker fez diferença. Pera aí. Ah, olha o Gordinker aí. Nossa, olha o Gordinker aí, meu Deus, ele tava. Nossa, ele tava halfa. Ele. Quando ele morreu ali, ia estar com metade da vida. É, o Chris não fez diferença, mano. Nossa, mano, faltou muito o Gordinker, mano. Ele ficou atrás do tempo, né? Que o Canyon fechou e ele não fechou, velho. Puta que pariu. Que diferença. Que diferença, mano. Tem ult. Pode parar pra dar o senão vai tomar cage e vai morrer, né? Ele para pra dar o e morre, mano. Nossa, na cabeça do Rakan. Errou!
If you ever had a question about what the best item in the game is, just look at Showmaker and Faker. Both picking that up either in runes or in general. As I think Faker had it in runes, but Showmaker not. I believe he actually purchased it. As Guma looking to take down first turret blood here, there isn't really much of a contest. He's actually even trying to deny this cannon, which he will be able to do. Very nicely done.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a gold toggle sometime soon, and I don't know if the bot lane is gonna look
voltou nos tempos que o Gumayushi pega todo o farm lá. Não que não tava assim ainda, né? Mas saudades, mano. Esse meta aí, esse que nem tanto, né? Mas os outros 4 tinham. Nossa, era tão comum ver. Era tão comum ver ano passado, né? Principalmente lá no começo do ano. Literalmente split atrás, 2 splits atrás, né? Um ano atrás, 365 dias atrás, você roda... Nossa, vai dar até zoom. Se eu desse essa matchup, ia estar exatamente a mesma coisa, mano. Ia estar exatamente os mesmos times. Menos o Veigar. Quase.
Sad moment for any mid laner.
Okay.
Knows that feeling.
Pera, não, quem pegou?
Pretty rough.
Ah, tá, o Kenyon pegou pro Oni não roubar. Nossa. F1 Maker, mano. Resetou o bagulho.
Relatively early on in the game here.
Roubei! Ah. Caraca, o cara não faz uma, né, mano? Kenyon não deixa eu compartilhar os vídeos.
According to every pro gamer,
O cara é muito quebrado. Comprado, né?
Did gain a big change. It gives a ton of AP now, got 25 extra AP, while losing the health. But if you're Cannon,
os caras vão tentar levar. Nossa, o Veigar vai pra mim. Nossa, cara, quase pegou, mano. Nossa, o Dash teve que ultar e ainda pegou no Kenyon. Nossa, pouca bota de MR. Só 3. Nossa, vai morrer, mano. Nossa, maluco.
So very happy to see him on the Ahri once again. He's actually going to be going for Banshee's Veil second. Very defensive item builds here.
Pior que a Banshee tá certo. Porque ele atravessa a cage do Veigar. Não toma o R do Raptor. O R W, no caso o W, né? Não, o R mesmo, né? O W você tem tempo de dar o R depois, né? O R da área, no caso. Agora se der WR ainda tem que você fazer. De Banshee tem. Aí... Azar tem que acertar o Q antes pra você lutar, não tem muito que você tirar, né? Nossa, que chutão. Não tem muito o que fazer, né? Tipo, se a... Né? Nossa, olha isso, cara. Nossa, tchau. Falou. Que caixa. Nossa, olha o cacete de jogos aí. Oh, falou. Caralho, jogaram muito, mano. Ah, não pega, meu Deus. Por que não pega, meu Deus? Caralho, os caras fizeram a maior execução do Liga dos Legends. Que é isso? E aqui, ó, se ele não luta... É tipo assim, né? Muito óbvio, né? Você tem que lutar para ir no engage desse. O lutar de pular, né? Mas caso ele não tivesse lutado, o carry não ia tomar CC, ele ia conseguir dar counter nessa brincadeira toda, mano. Ele dava o E no Rakan, aí já cancelava o W, porque qualquer CC que você toma no Rakan no meio do W, você cancela. Mais esquisito isso. Aí pronto, já cancelava o W, aí pronto, acabou, aí acabou o engage, né? Ah, os caras tinham comitado tudo já, ia dar muita merda depois. Mas lógico, né? Tipo, apertar o R não é... Ah, nossa, mano, deve que ele apertou, não, é tipo normal já. Então, é... Tem nada a ver. Meu Deus, olha o trick. Trick fight. Ok, ele tá ali. Mas botou agora. Ele quer muito usar aquele bagulho. Pior que o Kenyon... Não que o... Entendeu? Ele tá em range, mas o Kenyon não perde smite. Eu acho que ele perde menos que o Honor, mano. Eu acho que se colocar no X1 de smite steal, eu acho que o... Smite steal não, né? Porque eu acho que de roubo o Honor é melhor. Mas quando tá tipo assim os dois do pit assim, dançando ali, tirando a vida um pouco do drag e tal, eu acho que quem não pega mais smite, mano. Acho não, ele pega mais smite. É duro. O cara é forte mesmo. Caralho, ele pegou essa catapa, mano. Parado, mano. Enquanto isso, os Zeus logo pegam uma, se ver.
Very even game here, Valdez. Both teams seem
Nossa, olha essa wave. Ó, ó, ó.
As mentioned, once Guma gets to a third item, that is going to change some things. Jinx is one of the few AD carries that didn't really benefit from the changes to IE and Navori just because
of
o
cara não queimou o charme.
How her kit functions, how she really wants to get that that attack speed item and
Cosmic Drive pra Kenny? Caralho. Mudou, né? Agora o drive, né? Agora dá mais AP. Nossa! Nossa, não pegou, velho. Meu Deus, pegou. Pegou na Zaya aqui, depois errado. Nossa, ele não tinha ult, eu achei que tinha. Nossa, nossa, pegou. Resetou. Meu Deus do céu, o que tá acontecendo aqui? Meu alastro. É X1 de execução essa partida aqui. Que isso, velho. Virou X1 de execução, só que a DK tem Linger, esse que é o foda, mano. Não pode, tem que acabar rápido, praticamente. Eu diria que tem que acabar rápido, mano, porque o Vigor vai dar muito problema, mano. Mas
quite close back and
He's
forth.
my
Like, sure,
fool.
T1 in the lead, but
bom, né?
it not being insurmountable. Like the positioning here
Deu
from
E,
Carrier
puxei o
is
cara,
such
toma.
it's a bait, right? Like it's looking
Deu
like he's
gol aí,
going
o
for
Chachão
Canyon, and
queria.
as a
Nossa,
result,
olha, não pegou, mano, não querem. É que o Canyon tá na frente, mas assim, o Pickbans foi no Canyon mesmo. Ele foi, né?
doesn't have his ultimate available,
Ah lá.
uses it just there, and Numa
Isso.
with the flash picks that one up.
Toma.
Faker
Nossa.
and Owner are ready to dive in.
Let's take a look.
Mano, não tem nem visão, ele tá com o Hulk ali.
So I think they saw him run into the bush.
Nossa, é isso. Que é isso, esse cara jogando? Achei! Caralho, o cara é muito bom, meu. Sangue, velho.
We can do Baron. And yep.
Que é isso?
Carrier, as always, making the calls while hitting every hook. It's pretty good at this game. And now T1
Cara bom, mano.
doing what they do best. Snowballing their lead, getting the big objective, and pushing as many turrets and their gold lead as far as possible.
For D+, they still have
Agora, ó, o Kennedy já tá fazendo o headstaff já. Isso é bom por causa só, mas é só por causa do caçante, mas mesmo assim, eu acho que pelo tanto de bota de MR já vale a pena já, eu acho. Não sei. Nossa, a build do Gumash me deixa tão triste. Que eu acho que não tem nada que esse cara melhor que o Chad, mano. É, tipo, quando ninguém tem armor. Quem tem armor só é o caçante só, mano. Eu acho que Infinity ele é melhor, mano. Nossa, que abalo. Parou o recal? Tá bom, né?
So it becomes so hard to play out 5k gold lead now. Baron Buff still alive for a large amount of time here.
What? Probably not the lantern to take into a cage.
No.
Faker tá fazendo agora, mano, espero que seja Shadowplay, velho. Espero que seja a peça, meu Deus do céu. Se for a peça, vai ser legal. Mas não tem muito motivo pra ele fazer a peça, não. Tipo, vai ser legal porque você escala melhor, mas talvez o jogo acabe antes, mano. E aí o Shadowplay vai passar mais coisa, né? Vamos ver. É a peça! Aí, caralho, é a peça. Sabe muito, não é igual o Gumayushi, não. Faz build ruim. Zoeira. O build dele não tá ruim, não. Mas... esse LDR aí é debatable. Bem debatable.
He was standing there really menacingly, I agree, yeah.
Bem debatable, na verdade. Agora, pra pensar mesmo. Não é debatable não, é ruim mesmo, tá errado, na verdade. Os caras têm vida? Tem, mas mesmo assim, nossa. Ai, 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 falou. Nó. Cara, toma. Nossa! Ah, caralho, o Cassante foi muito rápido, velho. Que isso, mano. Nossa, mas mesmo assim, mano. Matou o Gumash mesmo assim. Tem muito dano ainda. Falou! Que execução. Aqui acabou. Acabou! Ó, o cara pingou lá o all-in ali. Aqui acabou, entrega as taças. Partidão já foi. Tem como? Tem como, né? Tem. 15 segundos ainda pro... Nossa, cara, que saudade desse jogo assim. Partida assim, pô, aqui o Hulk foi isso, agora o Hulk foi full. E aqui acabou. Oh, matei! Nossa, pegou a... Eita, pô, pera. Nice, que beleza. Ó o foguete. Que beleza, que beleza. Aqui acabou, entreguei as taças já.
taken this one very seriously and
Parar a
did not waste
gravação.
any time of
Falou!
dispatching DK
Ih, ó,
extremely
o
quickly.
pendrive, vocês viram?
That
Não pode
is
fumar.
the number
Ou
one
pode, tem que
against
ser.
the number 2, by
Mas
the
não
way.
fuma. Falou!